Hi everybody and welcome to your art class. I hope you're all doing okay out there. I got a really cool little assignment for us today. Kind of just a fun, chill little thing, a little drawing prompt for you. Just a cool idea. I figure some of you might be just sitting at home thinking, hey, I want to draw, but I don't really know what to draw. I'm starting to run out of ideas. So this one is kind of just a fun idea for you to explore and play around with. I'm looking forward to it and to seeing what happens with this one. So let me aim my camera down here and I'll tell you what this project is all about. Let me get this all set up. Gotta flip it. There we go. And I'll zoom in real close so that you can see my paper. Alright, so I've kind of cut this paper to be like a tall and long paper. You can do it that way if you want, but you definitely don't have to. You do this however you like. And you can use any type of paper that you want. I always say this, whatever you've got at home is just fine. If you've got notebook paper or whatever you got's fine. You don't need fancy paper. And I'm using a pen for this one actually. I just kind of felt like using a pen. Sometimes a ballpoint pen can be actually a really amazing drawing tool. It doesn't even have to be a fancy one. Just a regular old like plastic pens. Those can be great. And I've got a Sharpie here too if I feel like doing some kind of thicker lines. I have that if I want to. So, what is this project all about? This one is called Balancing Act. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to draw yourself down here. And you're going to have your hands out kind of like this, and you're going to be holding things. And we're going to keep building things on top to make this really complex balancing act. Okay? And the word balance, that's a really important part of what we're doing here. Because this project is about, yes, balance. We want both sides to have the same amount of weight, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean how much everything physically weighs, but that could mean how much space does it take up? Do both sides match? Does one side feel like it has more drawing on it than the other side? Does one side have more coloring or darker spots than the other side? We want the whole thing to look balanced on both sides. So this is a good way to sort of play around with that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I will be drawing and talking for a little while to get you started, but at a certain point I'll just turn off my mic and I'll just be drawing, and we can be drawing together. You can start drawing now if you want, or you can wait. That's up to you. But I'm going to draw myself down here. I'm just start with my beard. Looking kind of a little bit nervous. Because I'm, doing this crazy balancing act. This can definitely be kind of just a goofy, funny drawing, just to see how it turns out. This can be, you could consider this maybe like a doodle if you want to. And I'll make my little arms coming out like this, one arm going this way, and one arm going this way. And I want to make sure you can do this totally different than mine. It does not have to look the way that mine looks. You can do it the way I'm doing, that's fine. But yeah, you can totally do it your own way. And I'll just do my hands really simple coming out like this. But you know what, maybe I'll put myself on a unicycle just because it's another level of funny balancing. I don't really know how to draw a unicycle. I'm just trying to thinking, okay, well it's got a wheel and a pedal and then maybe a seat, right? And then my other leg would be like out here on the other pedal. There we go. Not perfect unicycle, but that's okay. You get the idea. You don't have to know how to draw something to try and draw it. You can just kind of sort of figure it out. And I'll do a little kind of coloring and shading here as I go. So now I'm all set up for my balancing act. Oh, I'm going to draw some little action lines. Those little lines just kind of make it look like, whoa, like he's wiggling. And I think I'm just going to draw whatever comes to mind for this. Like for some reason I'm thinking about blocks. You know when I'm thinking about blocks? Because there are some blocks behind me on the floor. And that's probably why I was thinking about that. So I'm just going to draw whatever comes to mind to fill up this space. Now, so I drew my blocks over here. And we want it to be balanced, right? So whatever I draw over on this side has to kind of have the same sort of balance. So maybe on that side I will draw some apples. You know, and I'll think, how do I make this balanced? Well, I'll do 3 blocks, 3 apples. That's pretty balanced, isn't it, right? Now what else can I add to it? Let's get a little more silly with it. Let's make a plate. I'll add like another block here so it looks like it's balancing. And maybe one more apple. And a plate. And the plate is going to have pancakes. Of course, pancakes, because they can just stack all these pancakes, and of course the syrup dripping down, and the delightful little cube of butter on top. There you go. Nice. Big old stack of pancakes. Now, how am I going to balance that on this side? What can I do here? I just realized something with my video that I could maybe make a little better here. So you can just keep drawing for a second while I mess with that. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. So, I'm gonna come up with something on this side to balance out my pancakes. And it doesn't even have to be anything realistic. Obviously, this is kind of a silly drawing. So I'm gonna make a castle. I'm gonna make a tiny castle. It's about as tall as the pancakes. So that'll give it a little bit of balance. Okay. So hopefully you kind of get the idea here that we just keep adding things and going all the way up to the top and getting really fantastical and silly with it. So I'm going to turn my mic off for a little while and just draw, and you go ahead and make your picture.
Why don't you want to do it anymore?
Because I think it hurts a little bit too much. Because maybe I'm not good enough. And I could find something else that I'm supposed to do.
I've been held up in this city for a while due to the rain.
Oh, I see. So as soon as it stops raining, you'll leave.
I hope that the rain will never stop.
What?
If it continues, I'll be able to stay here forever. That wasn't meant to be a joke.
So at this point, if I look at my picture, you know, if you look at your picture, you should be able to get a sense of how balanced is it, right? Like if you look at it and just kind of think about it or try to feel the balance of it. Like if I look at this, it looks pretty balanced, but what I'm seeing is that this dragon here, there's a little more here than right here. You see that? There's like a lot of drawing here. There's not a lot here. So I'm going to want to add some things over here to help balance it out, right? You want it to kind of be the same on both sides. At this point, you know, this could also just be a finished drawing, but I always like to say, what else can I add? So I'm just going to keep adding more and more details, and maybe even just fill up this whole page. I might even just add patterns in certain places or cool looking things. I'm just going to keep going and going, because this is a drawing that's just going to look cooler the more detail that I add to it. So that's what I'm up to. You should definitely look at yours and think, you know, where can I add some more balance? What part looks like it's a little heavier than another part? So go for it. Also, you know what? If you need to take a break, you need to stretch your legs, go get a drink or something, go for it. This would be a good time to do that. You definitely don't need to just sit the whole time. You can wiggle around and move if you need to. I'll still be here. You can also just pause the video. Alright, so I am just about done with this picture. Sorry, my camera's being a little goofy. But yeah, this is what I ended up with. And yeah, I was pretty much just thinking about balancing the whole time. And the reason that we talk about balance with our art is because it's just a tool that you can use in any of your artworks to help your art look a little better, to feel a little better. Or if your art just doesn't quite look right and you're like, what does this need? You know, maybe it needs some more balance. It's just a little trick that I want you to have in your toolbox when you make your art, is to think about, how is my artwork balanced? Right, we call it putting together a composition. Composition means, how does the whole thing kind of work together with itself? That's the composition. So, balance is one of those things that it's good to think about with your art, and this is kind of just a fun way to practice that. And it's just a silly little drawing. Sometimes you just need a funny idea to come up with a cool original drawing. Alright, so let me get my camera up here. Hang on a second. Okay. Alright. So, we are going to do something pretty cool soon. We're going to do some virtual art hangouts. Alright, and what that's going to look like, that's going to be a Google meeting where students can join in, and we'll be making art. You can show the art you're making, we can chat, share some cool art videos, and yeah, it's basically a time to hang out and make art together, students and me, and share our art with each other. So that's going to be really cool. We're going to have a grades 3 through 5 art hangout and a grades K through 2 art hangout. So I'm going to put a link in the description of this video, and that's going to lead you to a Google Classroom. Okay, so what you're going to do is use that code and that link to join the Google Classroom, and that's where I'm going to be posting the dates and times for our virtual art hangout. Now, the virtual art hangout is not something that you have to do. Okay, this is just an extra thing. If you want some extra art time and you don't have other things to do, you go ahead and do it. But don't feel like you have to. Okay, it's not required of you to do it. So once again, the link and the code to get in the Google Classroom is in the description to this video, and that's where I'm going to be posting the dates and times and links to the art hangouts. Okay, so I hope you had fun today. I did. I mean, came up with a pretty neat drawing. I like that one. Turned out cool, and I had tons of fun making it, and I got to practice my pen skills and think about balance a little bit. So keep making art out there, everybody. And oh, just another reminder, you don't have to turn this in. Okay, I collected last week's, but I just collect one artwork every trimester. So that was the one for trimester 1. Trimester 2 will turn one in at the end of the trimester. But for now, you just keep these, hang it up somewhere, do something cool with it. You definitely can send me pictures of your artwork. I love seeing my students' artwork, so feel free to email me your artwork if you just want to share it. That's great, okay? But you don't have to. Alright, everybody, take care. Keep making art. Keep being awesome. Fill your time with art, okay? If you don't know what else to do, make some art. Even if you don't know what to make, just start drawing a line and see what happens. Try it out. Trust me, it's going to work out good for you. Alright, love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.